Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Sunday, December 25th. So we have the moon moving out of Capricorn and moving into Aquarius energy. Now, of course, we were in the new moon in Capricorn energy, and although we're still in the new moon window, we will be shifting out of that low and slow, heavy and weighted earth energy of Capricorn, and we will be flying high in the airy energy of Aquarius. So anytime that we are moving out of Capricorn energy into Aquarian energy, we are fighting for freedom, for independence, for change. We should have been illuminated to our blockages, to what was weighing us down in Capricorn energy. And in Aquarian energy, we get a big vision, big ideas on how it is that we're going to resolve some of these issues that definitely had a heaviness on our head, on our heart, and on our shoulders. So the moon went void, of course, last evening, the 24th at 10:12 p.m. And we will be locking into the Aquarian energy at 2:15 a.m. again, Eastern Standard Time. There are 8 different aspects here today, and 7 of them involve the moon. The moon will be making a very, very interesting interaction with Chiron before shifting into this Aquarian energy. So the moon still very much in Capricorn energy is making a interaction with the wounded healer, who just went direct after a 5.5-month retrograde just before the new moon in Capricorn peaked in its energy on the 23rd. Now, this is a lot of insight, a lot of visions on our growth, on our expansion, on what it is that we want to do from here. Chiron, the wounded healer, yes, illuminates us to the wounds that we're here to heal, but also gives us the wisdom and the resources to do just that. The moon in Capricorn has a lot of wisdom within itself. A lot of tough love life lessons were learned and are now being integrated in order for us to tap into this huge intuition, this huge sixth sense, this huge inner wisdom, knowledge, and resources. This is definitely going to open our eyes to different situations, to open us up to different perspectives and understandings, and really set the tone for what it is that we are going to do now that we have healed certain aspects of ourselves and now that we are moving forward. The moon shifts into that Aquarian energy, like I mentioned, 2:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and at 2:57 a.m. we have the moon in Aquarius sextiling, which is a beautiful energy, with Jupiter, who is about growth and expansion, beliefs and blessings, who is fresh into this Aries energy. Again, if you haven't listened to any of these astro forecasts, I'm going to recommend you do so. Definitely paints a bigger, broader picture on what this particular energy shift is going to mean for us. And the moon sextiling Jupiter in this way is definitely going to bring in all the feels. We are gaining huge insight for the future. Again, Aquarian energy, big vision, big picture type of vibe. And Jupiter magnifies where it is that, you know what, we got to be positive. We're plucking out the silver linings. We're going to push ourselves to be better. We're going to be innovative. We're going to tackle some of the problems in a better kind of way because there is a little bit more of a belief within ourselves. We've renewed our faith, renewed our trust, renewed our belief system on what it is that is actually possible. And you best believe that we are diving into all the good vibes, all the good feels. The moon is going to be interacting with the sun in a very awkward kind of way, highlighting for us what it is that we're moving away from and what it is that we desire to move closer to. So, the Aquarian energy and the Capricorn energy. Well, the moon in Aquarius helps us to kind of emotionally detach so that we can see things without the blurriness of our emotions clouding our judgment. The sun in Capricorn has a no bullshit kind of attitude anyways, really discerning the facts, the data, the statistics, the info from the feels that we get. Now, the moon, very attached to the past, while the sun is attached to the future. And what we're left with is this present moment where we're looking back in order to gain insight on how it is that we move forward. Again, you hear me say in all these forecasts, especially in the ascension forecast, we're in a time right now where we have to go back to the future. We have to look back in order to gain insight on how it is that we are going to move forward. The moon in Aquarius semi-squares, a little bit of a tension point with Neptune, who's in its place of power in Pisces energy. Now, here's the thing. We are kind of stuck in the intellectual mind frame with the Aquarian energy, and the Pisces energy is more intuition, more vibes, more creativity, if you will. So although Neptune being in Pisces wants to align us with our higher selves and really kind of strengthen our intuition, the moon in Aquarius energy is all for that, but would more rather rely on facts, on data, on the intellect to kind of sort our thoughts and feelings out. So this is a semi-square. There is a little bit of a tension here because we're struggling to really align with what part of ourselves we should trust. Should we trust our intellect, or should we trust our higher self, our intuition, our gut feeling? I'm just going to say this, spoiler alert, we have to find balance and use both. But right now, the tug of war is super, super strong. The moon is going to trine Mars, which is a beautiful energy. Mars, of course, ruler of our physical action, of our passion, of our desires, even our anger. He's retrograde in Gemini energy, so there's not a whole lot of action to be had. There's a lot of, I'm going to say, activity in our mental plane, a lot of ideas, a lot of processing that we have to sort out, especially trying to make sense of the past and really kind of discern what is best for us in moving forward in the future. There's a lot of pros and cons, a lot of highs and lows, a lot of things in between that we have to really kind of dive into. Now, this is a trine. This means that this is a good vibe, a good energy. And what we're doing here is we're really sorting through and processing through our thoughts and our emotions super quickly. There's a no bullshit kind of attitude. There's a let's not fuss over this type of thing. It's like a, you know what? I've thought about this long enough. Let's make a decision. Let's decide so that I don't have to think about this again. What this means for us is that we are coming up with a plan. We are aligning with one path, one choice, one decision, one, I'm going to say, direction over the other. And with that, gaining huge insight on how it is that we're actually going to move forward when we're gifted with the green light go ahead to actually do so. The true node is going to make an interaction with Chiron. This is a beautiful vibe. It might not feel so beautiful. There's a little bit of tension here with this interaction, but this is a huge opportunity to see where it is that we are actually moving forward, where there is actual growth, where we are healing certain aspects of ourselves that have been preventing us from actually moving forward. That North Node in Taurus energy, really showing us what it is that we have to build, what it is that we have to create in our lives, where safety and security and stability is concerned, in order to help heal those wounds, fill those voids of where it is in our past that we haven't had that kind of safety, security, and stability. This is all about growth. It's all about expansion. It's all about moving forward. But sometimes we have to feel where it is that we felt trapped, where it is that we were in certain instances that didn't feel so good in the past, in order to recognize how much we've actually done and accomplished. Now, the moon is going to square the true node shortly after, which doesn't feel good. Literally, like 4 minutes after the North Node and Chiron kick off, the moon chimes in, squares, gets in the boxing ring with the North Node, true node in Taurus energy. And what this is a cluster F. Why? Because the Taurus energy is fixed. Now, yes, Aquarian energy is fixed as well, but Taurus energy is fixed on keeping things the same. The Aquarian energy is fixed on changing everything. So, of course, emotionally speaking, we're ready for a change. We want to switch things up. We want to move forward. But it feels like there's this part of us that's just hanging on to dear life, to what was old, tried, tested, true, traditional, and familiar. And we really do have to sit in this cluster F of emotions in order to recognize where it is that we are blocking ourselves. It is nothing out in the external world blocking us. It is essentially our perspective, our thoughts, our feelings that are preventing us from making the huge changes, the huge transformations, the huge leaps forward. The last aspect that is taking place here today is happening at the exact same time that the moon is squaring the North Node, which is the moon sextiling Chiron. So just to back up here, okay, 9:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this is when the true node, the North Node in Taurus, makes this cluster F of energy with Chiron, right? And then the moon squares the North Node while the moon sextiles Chiron. So this is like examining in the funk where it is that we're holding on, where it is that we're blocking ourselves, having this realization in this moment, like, holy crap, I got to get out of my own way. And essentially with that realization, with that aha moment, with that epiphany, we heal that certain emotion, that certain thought, that idea, that perspective, that understanding that is essentially holding us back from moving forward and progressing through the evolvement of our pain, of our trauma, of our healing. So it's very interesting to me that all of these energies are happening at one time and happening, involving the true node, the moon, and Chiron. This is a very pivotal point where we are looking back, but gaining insight forward, where we are reflecting back at our pain and trauma, recognizing what it is that we're afraid to let go of, and then being excited to embrace the change and embrace the new challenges that await us as we are ready to, transform our lives and actually take on a different path. So it is going to feel like a little bit of a tension, a little bit of a cluster F. But again, that cluster F is needed in order for us to recognize where the problem is, in order for us to actually solve it.